Welcome to the final part of this project, of the Hunger Games project. So in this video, we'll be putting all the scenes that we created together and create this final animation that will be played in full at the end. Now, this was a very exciting project that I did. I think because of the cycles and the fire that we did, I was very happy with that. So starting here with the first cut shot that we did was Katniss. As you can see, her skin color did change from the original video that I did for her, and that's because I just wanted it to look better, and the whatever colors we were going to add were going to come towards the end of the project when we put it in a compositing software, which is After Effects. Now, the first thing that I did was lip sync, and I think, as you'll note, this is almost the first thing that I always do going into the project. So unlike cutting it apart into different sections, what I did was with Katniss is that I lip synced the whole project, did everything, and then just cut the portions that I needed and also came back to it towards the end. So here it was just lip syncing, as you can see. And then here right now there is no background, but once I get into that, I'm excited to show you the fire and the backgrounds and all that nice stuff. So here it was a lot of work with the lip syncing, and I think that took most of the time when it came to this final animation creation. Now, in total of this project together, it was actually 6 hours, which is very short actually, and I think it could be even reduced to 4 hours, but you know, I prefer to take breaks within the project. So here you can see I'm just lip syncing, making sure that, you know, the important parts where she says words, you know, works out. So you can see I'm just testing it here, and I think it looks great. You can see it does look like she is talking, and she does look upset on her face. So there is that almost facial expressions that do reflect the emotions. So here, what I was doing is just playing around with the eyes, making them squint, you know, as she started getting more emotional. And then here, so what I did here was that I just created a duplicate of the eyebrows, so that the eyebrows. So what I did here was that I just created the eyebrows, and then it sounds like eyebrows, like, you know, bro, hey bro. So here with the eyes, you can see I'm just playing with it, and then it didn't come out as well as I would have wanted to in terms of the movements, but I realized because we created a loop cycle, you know, it would have been very difficult. So here I'm just creating the parts where she blinks, and then unlike just copying and pasting all the blinks, what I did was I made her eyes squint, you know, just to show her, you know, how emotional she is. Like, she looks like she's about to burst. She looks sad and angry at the same time, if I can put it. So here you can see I'm just copying the rest, and then I think that was about it. So here what I was doing is I was just creating that little eye movements that I always try to include in all the projects. Now, in terms of the final animation, this didn't reflect all the way through, I think because there's a bit too much going on or too much to look at, so it's very difficult to see these eye movements in the final project. But again, for me, it definitely adds to the whole character animation when I do these sort of projects with the characters here. So here you can see she's moving, it's just moving the eyes, you can see, and I think that does, for me, definitely does add life to the character. So right now I'm just playing with the amateur or the rig, the bone movements of the character. And here I'm just making her move around as she talks. The keys went very smooth, but in terms of the overall project, I think I was happy with that. So if you've made it this far, guys, please subscribe. Check out the other videos after this one, and then check out more videos after that. But thank you for watching, and the number for this project is 38. You can put 38 in the comments. If you're wondering where these numbers come from, is because when I'm editing, there's that almost time, not time scale, like that time that shows you how far you are in the clip or where you are in the clip. So it's the number that popped up right now. It's 38. So put 38 in the comments. That's my inside joke. That's how I know you've made it this far. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Alright, so what I'm doing here is the background. Now with this background I already created before. I didn't record. I haven't recorded doing any background, so with this one almost the tradition continued. So in the back there is smoke. Now the software does have smoke on its own, but it's not what I was looking for. So here is just the cycles of the fire that I'm doing, and I'm just going to show you that this fire is just literally made out of different layers that are played very fast in a consecutive order, as you can see there. So it also is a cycle. So that fire is not even as complicated as it looks, but it really does work well in the final animation and in the final video. So here you can see I'm just doing the same thing with the clouds, or the smoke rather, just moving it from left to right. And you can see I've added the cycles to Katniss, so you can see now she's moving very fast. So this cycle animation we created when we created the character of Katniss Everdeen in the first video of the project. So here I was trying to create a shaky camera, but didn't look too good. So what I did was I manually moved the camera myself. It wasn't a lot of work, so I didn't worry too much about that. So here you can see I'm just moving the camera around, because the reference video, they almost had a shaky camera in it as well. So here you can see it making that camera movement, and then you can see it's starting to look good. And then I just copied and pasted. It's not necessary to create you know, every movement. You can just copy and paste, which is what I did. So you can see that looks good to me, and I was happy with the results. So here I'm just cutting the frames that I need. I don't need the whole thing. So this was my scene 1, and then what I'm gonna do is create my scene 2. The technical term is a cutscene. I think that's what they call it, because the scene is an overall composition of cuts, but I just call them scenes in any case. So here what I did was that I just overlaid the other characters. I just flipped the background on the vertical axis. It's much easier, you know, you don't need to complicate stuff. And then I just made the camera move from left to right, but then I also did change this by making the camera shaky too. So here you can see just moving that camera, and then also the character of Cassandra wasn't much. I just rotated her a little bit just to give her that illusion of movement, but other than that it was mostly the camera movement that I was playing around, because I knew that the fire was gonna sell the shot, because the fire is what I feel like is what sells it. And that was it. So now I'm back with Katniss Everdeen, and here you will see that it's literally just knowing where to cut the frames, and that was it. So you can see how fast that animation was, and that's it. So now I'm in After Effects, and this is where I'm just gonna bring that layer. I'm just gonna bring that layer of where it looks like the environment, like the inner, like a hot environment. So I just used an adjusted layer, and I forgot what setting I used, but you'll see how it changes here. And I think it did add to the final thing, but I don't know, looking back, I feel like maybe I don't know if this adjusted layer did work to my favor, if I'm being honest. I think without the layer it did look better, or I could have used something better, because I feel like it became a bit too dark, but it did add to the composition. I think I was happy at the time, but just in hindsight, looking back right now, I think I could have reduced the intensity of this effect. So you can see that's looking good, and there isn't really much to add after this other than just the fading out of the video. And this brings it to the end of our project, and that's it. That's the Katniss Everdeen Hunger Games video. If you haven't seen the previous 2 videos of the character creations that I have, please consider checking them out, and please subscribe and leave a like if you've made it this far. And tons of projects to check out on the channel. More projects are coming, and yeah, thank you for your time, and thank you for watching this video, and I wonder what project we're gonna do next. So yeah, thank you for watching.
If you think for 1 second that the Capitol will ever treat us fairly, you are lying to yourselves. Because we know who they are and what they do. This is what they do, and we must fight back.